What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to tell you about the 4 sets that are really the only sets currently that I would consider putting money into before 2026. There is going to be different reasoning for each one of these, and I will try and walk you through at least my thought process for this. And we'll start off with Black Bolt and White Flare. As you guys know, if you've been watching the videos for a while, I've been talking about these on the channel for maybe about a month at this point, 6 weeks. It doesn't make sense to me why these sets, Black Bolt in particular, is so cheap. I mean, the value inside of here is ridiculous. Initially, I wasn't a huge fan of the cards. I will admit, I didn't think that these sets were going to do as well as they have. I think a lot of that does have to do with the pull rates for these top hits, keeping them fairly valuable. And also some of the special illustration rares have surprised me, like the Zekrom EX and Black Bolt, 250 bucks still. The Seismitoad obviously took everyone by surprise. If we go over to White Flare, the Reshiram being about a $200 card, a little bit higher than I think I expected. And then also some of these like mid-tier illustration rares in White Flare. I mean, the Keldeo around $65, Hilda as well in that range. Zoroark and Oshawott, those have done fairly decently. But really, I think a lot of the conversation for these two sets boils down to the top, 3 to 5 cards in each of them. It doesn't make sense for the amount of value that you can get out of a pack of White Flare or Black Bolt that these ETBs are currently in, like the $80-ish range. I know Black Bolt, you're a little bit more expensive, around 85, but White Flare, you're sitting sub $80 currently. I mean, this is not too far off of MSRP, all things considered, especially where Paldean Fates is at, almost $300, 151. We're pushing 400 at this point. I think the only specialty set ETB cheaper than these is Shrouded Fable, which, although it actually has decent depth in it, Shrouded Fable, there's no good top hit. You have the Houndoom and the Persian, and then you have a couple playable cards in there, but really nothing that people are going to want to chase long term, or at least pay a decent amount of money for. And if you don't believe me, I know a lot of people say that Shrouded Fable, it's a decent play, it was short printed, whatever. If you listen to someone like Catch 'em All Collectibles talk, he basically says that he has, 10 years worth of Shrouded Fable put away, so he's dropping his buy price on those just because he really doesn't want to add more. And I know that that is just one person doing a rip and ship, but I do put a lot of thought into what's going on in these larger rip and ships in the community. A lot of them, Black Bolt and White Flare, are packs that are constantly opened. They're definitely in like the top 5 for those vendors per se, in the amount of packs being ripped. So there's lots of this moving. People have enjoyed the chase, especially for the Victini, and then the Zekrom and Reshiram black and white cards. Those are very popular. And even though it is a newer set and it's more than likely going to get reprinted over the next couple of years, I would be trying to load up on sealed cases of the ETBs, whether it is for White Flare or again Black Bolt. If they're the same price in your location or whatever, I would go for Black Bolt just because I think there is going to be a little bit more depth there long term, but I wouldn't be upset if people split it down the middle, went 50-50 and diversified between the two. So that's going to be the first set that we talk about today. The second one isn't specifically about 151, but mainly the loose booster bundles. So I was actually looking at this the other day on TCG Player. The loose packs currently for 151 are about $17, $16.69 currently, up 91.6% over the past 12 months. A lot of that growth has come since like the end of August onwards, so just a couple months at this point. And if you multiply 1669 by 6, you get a number that is higher than 94.87. So there's actually zero premium currently on the sealed booster bundles, and to me that doesn't make sense. A lot of this probably does have to do with these showing up at more vending machines. Same thing that's happening with Surging Sparks booster boxes, probably bringing the price down the short term. And that's giving people a decent opportunity to add more 151, because this might be the last hurrah. Maybe we get more around the holiday season. That's the last time Pokemon decides to put out 151. You guys know 151's rotating out early next year. It's been out for more than 2 years at this point. So we're really on the last legs of this set. And considering how popular the set is, how many packs have been opened, you just look at the Charizard PSA pop and everything that's going on with this, you'd be very hard pressed to find people that would tell you in the next 3 to 5 years that these packs aren't going to be like $30, $40, maybe even $50 plus a piece, right? So I think that 151, although sure, it would have been better to have been buying this about a year ago, it's still a decent opportunity to get some of these bundles. And with the insane premium on the regular ETBs, the PCTBs, the UPC, is there any other product to throw in there? I mean, even the binder collections are expensive. This is probably your best bet if you do want to add more 151 to your position. Now, the final set we're going to talk about shouldn't be a surprise. Prismatic Evolutions. You guys know I'm a huge fan of this set. Now, I think we are getting closer to a point where the ETBs are fairly valued, at least in the current market. I also saw something about new Costco stores opening, and they're going to have more of those Costco bundles that have the ETB and the booster bundle. But there's a bunch of different ways you can go about buying Prismatic. If you don't want to go for ETB cases, which is what I've been doing over the past few months, you could go for like the SPCs, which I didn't bring up. You could even consider PCTBs still, but also the booster bundles. I mean, these are fairly cheap. There is probably about a 10% premium on these compared to 6 loose packs. If you do the math, they're $8.80 times 6, you're getting to what? $52, $53. These are sitting around $57 currently. So there's a little bit of a premium on the sealed bundles, which I think is fine. That's probably how it should be. But ultimately, this is just the deepest set in the Scarlet and Violet era with all the evolutions, the Roaring Moon, even the Scarlet, which I think is playable currently, still sitting around $140 in here. It doesn't matter what you do, what avenue you go through, you want to add some Prismatic Evolutions to your investment portfolio. Now, the final thing I kind of want to touch on this video is if you had the option to buy Prismatic, say a booster bundle versus a 151 booster bundle at MSRP, because I know some people do live near the vending machines. I'm sure a lot of people are able to find these products at MSRP, and maybe we want to throw in like Black Bolt and White Flare ETBs at MSRP as well. Which one would I be buying out of those if that was the price I was paying? I would probably go at that point with the 151 just because it is the older set. Not only would it give you the largest instant arbitrage opportunity out of the 3 choices, but it is just getting up there in age. We're more than likely not going to see a lot of this get reprinted or restocked moving into next year. But if it was market price, I would probably go, at least starting out, with the Black Bolt and White Flare ETBs. I mean, these are just so cheap, guys. I understand it's a new set. Maybe they come down over the next 18 months, whatever, dollar cost average, but there's no way long term that these are going to stick around $80. Even if reprints bring the price down on a lot of these top cards, there's still going to be a very large amount of value in the top 10. But that's all I really wanted to talk about in this video. If you guys got some value out of it, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below for the algorithm. It really does help out a ton. Now, I'm gonna go finish off watching Danny Phantom. You guys know he's one of my favorite creators, and oh, weird, he put out a video about One Piece today. One Piece or Fun Piece? Interesting, it seems like we might have a couple more creators hopping ship, or at least exploring options in other TCGs. And jokes aside, guys, because I know I just threw this in here to ruffle some of your feathers at the end of the video, but I think Bandai is actually trying to pull a lot of market share from Pokemon right now. I don't know how successful they're going to be. This was clearly like a sponsored video, or if it wasn't paid for, they obviously sent him product, and I mean, he's got the links in there and everything. This is irrelevant to the video. Like, we already talked about the Pokemon investments, but I don't think Bandai is going about it the best way. Like, if it were me in charge of the marketing over at Bandai, and again, this is probably why I don't work for Bandai, because this might be the wrong decision in a lot of people's eyes, I wouldn't be focusing on the TCG element of things, and I wouldn't be going after a creator like Danny Phantom. I would be trying to sponsor rip and ships like Wenzel TCG or some of the other larger ones, and being like, hey, you know, here's a case of OP13, like give away boxes or product and open it on your streams and get people excited. At least in my opinion, that's where a lot of the hype is right now in One Piece. It's with these awesome chase cards that they're putting out, god packs in a lot of sets, very expensive manga cards and SPs, etc. So I don't know. That's what I would be doing personally, but they know their brand better than I do if they want to focus on trying to promote the TCG. I guess that's great. You might have some carryover to just opening packs and general collectability, but I'd be curious to see what you guys think in the comments down below. With all that said, thank you so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.